I'm Chief Meteorologist Jacqueline Bennett in the KRON 4 Weather Center with this forecast update. Another scorcher around the Bay Area today, 80s and 90s Bay Area wide. We hit 90 degrees out in Livermore. It was 89 in San Francisco, 93 in Santa Rosa, 91 in San Mateo, also 90 degrees down in San Jose. And it's going to be another warm one tomorrow. In fact, even warmer than today. We're looking live right now from the Golden Gate Bridge. The last few moments of daylight, you can see the crystal clear skies. It's going to stay like that tonight. Clear, a little breezy, pretty mild. Tomorrow will be the hottest day of this heat wave. A heat advisory remains in effect. We will start cooling into the weekend, especially closer to the coastline, but it's going to stay pretty warm through our inland valleys. More on that in a moment. First, let's talk about this heat advisory, which is still under effect for most of the Bay Area. The Delta not included, but the North Bay, East Bay, South Bay, Peninsula, coastline, stretching all the way down into Gilroy, all under the heat advisory for these abnormally high temperatures. It looks like records are largely stay safe, but really with heat like this, you want to make sure you're not really exercising in the middle of the day, walk the dog early, things like that. So let's take a look at the temperatures. Futurecast 4 in the morning, mainly in the 60s, which is the green here on your screen, and then quickly warming into the 80s, practically Bay Area wide. We will get more 90s out there tomorrow as well. You see all the red creeping onto your screen into the 3 o'clock hour. So let's take a look at the numbers. At the coastline, once again, pretty warm in the 80s. We don't usually see temperatures this warm at the coast, but we have virtually no sea breeze wind in place right now, so that will allow things to be in the 80s at the coast and 90s down the peninsula. 93 in San Mateo, 90 in San Bruno. We'll also see a few low 90s for the East Bay shoreline. 92 in Union City, 92 in Richmond, 90 in Fremont, 89 for Oakland, though. Our inland valleys are going to be in the 90s again tomorrow, mainly in the low 90s. So 93 in Danville, 95 in San Ramon, 92 out in Brentwood, also in the 90s in the South Bay. And in fact, approaching the triple digits in Morgan Hill, 98 there, 92 in San Jose, 94 in Sunnyvale and Cupertino. And finally, the North Bay also largely in the 90s tomorrow. 90s up Highway 101, mid-90s in Napa, 94 in Vallejo. So you may be wondering, are we going to break any records with this heat? And it looks like we could break a couple, but largely the records are going to stay intact. So here's a look. Hayward, Santa Rosa, getting pretty close to those records. In fact, Hayward just barely passing, but Santa Rosa should crush that previous record. Otherwise, again, the record's largely safe. And Livermore, 5 degrees below the record tomorrow, 6 degrees below the record in Oakland, several degrees below the records in San Francisco and in Livermore. So looking ahead, tomorrow, the warmest day of this heat wave. But we are going to start cooling into the weekend. Notice the cooling will be more dramatic for the coastline and inside the bay. Still in the 90s over the weekend away from the coastline. The cooling continues into next week as the sea breeze winds return with a vengeance. We'll see more cloud cover and drizzle near the coastline, and also temperatures significantly cooler Bay Area wide.